Welcome back, guys, to another video, the second video of today. I've just finished watching Stockport County 0, West Ham United 1, and we trickle our way into the fourth round of the FA Cup. Before we get into it, guys, this is where I'm going to ask you guys to subscribe if you haven't already. Support West Ham. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Now, in terms of the starting 11, it was a pretty strong starting 11. Yes, there were some players that could have needed resting, like Antonio, who's just come back from an injury, but I was actually very pleased to see that Moyes is taking this FA Cup seriously. We've seen already with results like West Brom and Leeds, if you want to progress in this competition, you can't take it lightly. And whilst the starting 11 was actually pretty good on paper, it didn't perform well on the pitch. And I think it will be very easy for me to just sit here and criticise West Ham, which I'm going to do. I am going to criticise areas of our performance, but how many times do we see commentators always criticising the team or the bigger team and not actually giving some credit to the opposition? I actually want to give some credit to Stockport County, because yes, whilst the conditions suited Stockport, the players that we had on the pitch like Ben Rama, Yarmolenko, Bowen, Lanzini, they are players that like to receive the ball to their feet, turn. The playing conditions, which whilst it was chucking it down in the rain and areas of the pitch were waterlogged, it did suit Stockport County. However, they were very, very well disciplined, and I want to say a massive credit to them to actually give West Ham a very, very good game. They didn't really create much in terms of chances. There was one or two, flashes that we saw in the second half, and generally we were okay defensively. There was one or two scares throughout the whole of the game when Dawson lost the ball, in the second half, and when they had a shot coming from the right hand side of the pitch and Dawson blocked. Generally, we weren't really threatened, but defensively, Stockport County were absolutely fantastic defensively. Now let's talk about West Ham, because how many times have I mentioned on this channel this season that when West Ham are the favourites for the game, they're the favourites to take the win, they're the ones that have got to stamp their authority on the game. We struggle to break teams down. We really, really do. The amount of times we've seen it, Fulham at home, teams that we should be beating at home, Brighton, when they went down to 10 men, when we're the ones that have got the ball and we're trying to find solutions to an answer or find a solution to a problem, right? We do not come up with those answers. And I think one of the biggest things that, in terms of West Ham's attacking play and in terms of their attacking patterns, that is a huge detrimental to this side is the lack of an actual natural wide player. Now, Bowen could possibly fit that. However, he is someone that likes to play on the right-hand side but tucks in. And the amount of times I saw throughout that game in the first half and the second half, why do I keep calling them Stockbridge? But Stockport County, they were very, very narrow in terms of their midfielders and their left back and their right wing back. And what they did, they forced West Ham out wide. Now, we saw the amount of times Ben Rama picked the ball up in central positions. Yarmolenko, as soon as he gets the ball, he wants to come inside. Lanzini coming inside. And what that essentially does is just cram in the middle. There's no space. There's no space for players to operate in. We haven't really got the most bomb forward, fullbacks. We got Soufal on the right-hand side, but we had Ben Johnson. A lot of our attacks in terms of from deep defensive areas was from Soufal. He was the one that was trying to, get past Yarmolenko in the first half to try and put a cross in. We never really saw that with Ben Johnson. Ben Rama operated on the left-hand side. Lanzini was in the middle, and generally it was pretty quiet the first half. We had 10 shots. Or 11 shots if you're including the goal. But we only had two or three shots on target. Ben Rama was the first shot. Ball comes in, I think it was from Declan Rice. He pulls the ball out of the air. He has a shot. It clips the post. Very, very unlucky. Done very well to get a shot off. Again, a couple of long shots from Declan Rice that went over. Lanzini straight at the goalkeeper. Nothing threatening. Everything was played in front of the Stockport County defence. And they were happy. Very happy to concede possession, because a lot of the time, West Ham, we would pick up the ball. But then we were too slow with our passing. We were too side to side, you know. And this is a similar pattern that we've seen so far this season when it comes to West Ham having the ball and they've got to try and break a team down. Too much side to side passing, not much risk taking. But in order to take a risk, we have to have movement. The movement either was not very good or it was too much of the same movement. We had, as I said, Lanzini trying to pick up the ball inside, Ben Rama picking up the ball inside, you know, limiting the amount of space for these players to operate in. And, you know, we need a natural wide player. We need someone who can stretch defences, who can literally get chalk on his boots, just stay out wide, pick the ball up, and then just run at a defender to put a cross in. Now, we have got Bowen, but he does pretty much do what Yarmolenko does. Gets the ball, cuts in on his left, has a shot, or puts a cross in. He very rarely does go on the byline to put a cross in. And that's why I do think West Ham, whilst we need another striker, a centre midfielder and a left back, I do feel like we have got a lot of the same kind of players in that attacking midfield role, and we do need a little bit more variety. So just to stretch defences, to try and get some space, to try and bring those, you know, narrow defences who are playing very narrow against West Ham, to think about, well, there's a player out wide. We've got to try and maybe, you know, look out for that switch of ball, that switch of pass, and then try and get out of him, which will then give space in half spaces, in the middle, for players like Lanzini, you know, your Bowens and all that to operate in. Anyway, 0-0 half-time, very little chances. We go into the second half, and again, it was very much the same as the first half. Not many, you know, we're having a lot of the ball. We're winning the ball. Stockport lose the ball in transition. We win the ball, but then we're too slow on the ball. Simple as, we're too slow on the ball. We get the ball and literally we wait until Stockport sort of get in their defensive shape, right? They get into their low block, and then we're like, right, let's try and impose ourselves. Instead of trying to get the ball whilst they're trying to counter-attack us in transition, then try and exploit the little bits of space that they have left by them trying to counter-attacking us. Anyway, not many chances throughout the game. In terms of the second half, Stockport actually grew into the game. They grew into the game. They looked a little bit more threatening on the counter-attack. As I mentioned in the earlier part of this video, Dawson almost gets caught out and they have a half chance, but thankfully Ogbonna was there. Ogbonna, again, I thought was fantastic, and I think it says a lot that probably our best players were our centre-backs. Given that Dawson made that slight error, the best players will probably be our centre-backs, and maybe, you know, and maybe Declan Rice for the second half. I didn't think he'd done that well the first half. I thought he'd give the ball away. But we were just a little bit too cautious, and we let Stockport get into their defensive shape. However, Bowen does come on. He comes on, and we get a corner. Again, West Ham score from a set piece. And this is what I've mentioned. You know, I love the job David Moyes is doing. But I've mentioned slight concerns within the way we play, that sometimes we're a little bit over-reliant on set pieces. And today we've grabbed another goal from a set piece, whilst I suppose it's a set piece that goes short to Rice. He lays it back off to Bowen. He puts a cross in the box. Whilst you could say that is technically open play, you know, we pretty much score from another cross, put the ball in the box, and Dawson, to be fair, it's a fantastic run. Ogbonna and Craig Dawson actually start their run, you know, very, very late. When the ball actually is about to get whipped in the box, they're outside the area. The ball gets whipped in. He runs at the ball. Fantastic, you know, timing of the jump. Fantastic timing of the run. It's a fantastic header. And because of the pitch is very wet, you could see today, you know, every single time you play a pass that was in the air, it hits the ground, it skids off the pitch. It literally flies. Apart from, you know, the actual corner where the corner kicks are taken, the corners of the pitch, they're the only real areas that were probably waterlogged. But a lot of the time, when the ball bounced, it would just fly off the pitch. And we saw a lot of overhit passes. But because of that, he heads it into the ground, it skids off the ground and goes into the corner. And we do pick up a narrow 1-0 victory. Again, we've got the job done. David Moyes, he put that team out, probably expecting to get the job done within 60 minutes, considering they are, you know, a conference team, we are a Premier League team. But because of the conditions, and as I said, whilst it's very easy for me to criticise West Ham, and I have criticised our performance, but I think we've still got to give credit to Stockport. They made it very, very difficult for us. Thankfully, we've got it over the line, and we have got Doncaster in the next round. at home, and you know, we've seen how well we have dispatched teams at home in the Carabao Cup, especially Charlton, Hull City, and that is why I was actually pretty confident going into this game, that especially when the lineup was released, that we was going to win this game pretty comfortably. However, wasn't the case. Credit to Stockport for giving us a very good game. We've got Doncaster next. Hopefully, we'll get through that game. And then I think we've got Manchester United or Liverpool away in the 5th round. So that would be pretty interesting. And to be fair, based on performances this season, bring them on. Bring them on, I say. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more West Ham videos, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.